It's the students that are really going to be sweating this weekend. Check out how heavy this gear is. It's gotta be hot. The police are not saying if they have any suspects in custody at this time. What we do know is they need more people from this neighborhood to come forward.
To ask you, do you have your running gear on? I know you're running tomorrow in that half marathon.
You know, Elitza, I don't have my running gear on yet, but seeing all these people out here, it makes me want to kind of jump in the starting line and join them. The lack of rain and extreme heat has taken a huge toll on the crop. You can see just how pathetic this one looks that I'm standing in now. Police say once that key is in the ignition, give your texting fingers a rest. And that's what a lot of people did. They volunteered their time and efforts, and luckily he was found alive. Heather, I-74 near Neal Street is back open tonight, 5 hours after a Rantoul woman jumped to her death. I myself am not a very good golfer, but with temperatures like this, I'll have plenty of time to practice before the season starts. A lot of wildlife take advantage of this body of water here at Kaufman Lake, but as you can see, what I'm standing in is very shallow. And 18-year-old Tiandra Jones was inside her home on Beardsley Avenue Sunday afternoon watching her two little brothers when she heard several gunshots ring out.
I immediately grabbed my little brothers and I dropped to the floor with them.
A few minutes later, she heard a person come into her house.
They were in there for a few seconds for a little while, and then I heard the door slam.
Jones doesn't know for sure if it was the shooting suspect police are now looking for, but she's still shaken up over the thought.
I was scared that we were going to get shot or something. I didn't know what to expect.
The latest shooting is just one of several to happen in our area in the last 3 months.
Very discouraging, very heartbreaking.
Patricia Avery is the president of the Champaign-Urbana Area Project, a group whose mission is to reduce juvenile delinquency by providing direct services to families. She says every parent needs to start having a conversation with their kids about guns.
We need to know what's going on inside our homes, and that's what we can do as a community.
The Champaign-Urbana Area Project highly supports the gun buyback event this weekend, in which anyone can drop off a gun at CUPHD, no questions asked, and receive a $50 cash card for each.
I think this is a perfect time to just turn in that weapon.
It's usually March before Randall Grusing gets in his first swing of the season, so to be able to hit the green Friday was a real treat.
Last year it was, snow was pretty deep, and usually this time of year you just don't get to hit a golf club at all.
He usually hangs up his hobby for the season by Thanksgiving, so managers at Stone Creek Golf Course in Urbana were pleasantly surprised to see him on the driving range.
Always a nice little bonus to have in January, because usually we don't have this.
Stone Creek head golf professional Mickey Finn says the phone has been ringing all Friday morning, with golfers looking to set up tee times in the next few days. It's something unusual for a business that's normally dead by Christmas. I myself am not a very good golfer, but with temperatures like this, I'll have plenty of time to practice before the season starts.
This is a great opportunity for them to get that, you know, I usually say the last swing of the year, but the first swing of the year in a couple months early.
So spring-like weather is great for springtime sports, but what about winter sports? Assistant Director of the University of Illinois Ice Arena, Jamie Houston, says the mild temperatures haven't seemed to hurt them.
I think it actually can help us, because I think that people aren't as scared to go outside and they're willing to be active.
But skaters at the rink Friday said something did seem off about being on the ice.
It does, because it's like colder in here, so I had to bring an extra jacket.
Now, for the record, that stand-up I did at the driving range, I did it about 5 times, and I only missed that one time. But my photographer decided that's the one that we should use for the story. So there you have it. I'm really not that bad of a golfer. Back to you guys. This is the incident in question. Back in June, Officer Patrick Simmons used force on 19-year-old Brandon Ward during his jaywalking arrest. 3 reports, one from the Champaign Police Department, one from the State Police, and one from the FBI, cleared Simmons of any wrongdoing. But City Council member Tom Bruno says all 3 investigations are missing one key element.
The complainant on his complaint listed witnesses and their phone numbers, and no one to today's date has ever spoken to those people.
The associate director of the University of Illinois Police Training Institute says witness interviews are key to investigations on use of force.
Absolutely, yeah. I think you want to interview everybody that was at the scene, and you want to interview all the officers that were there, of course.
Both Bruno and Mayor Don Gerard are asking the community not to look at the independent investigation as a fourth one, but instead the first thorough one. Some of our viewers agree, others feel it's time to put the incident to rest. On Facebook, Angie O wrote, "I don't feel it's appropriate. When people go on trial, they aren't tried multiple times to make sure no one else finds them guilty. The same system we apply to offenders should apply to the people who protect and serve." Bruno says the idea some have that the council doesn't support its officers is simply not true.
This is like a family fight at some levels, and the best thing for our family is to try to work through this.
If you saw one-year-old William Winans on his first birthday Friday, you would notice right away what a happy, healthy baby he is. You would never guess he was attacked by a 2-foot python earlier this week. Devin Winans says around 11 Monday night, he heard his son stirring, so he felt around his crib.
When I felt it, it was really slimy, and I knew it wasn't normal. I immediately turned the light on and saw the snake, a ball python, wrapped around his foot, constricting it and trying to eat his foot.
Winans pulled the snake off with a blanket and immediately called the boy's mother, who rushed over to the apartment.
It kind of took me a minute to realize that he was okay, because I did see the blood all over his foot, and of course it took me a minute to register, and I kind of just grabbed him from Devin.
William was taken to the hospital and treated for minor injuries. The snake was brought to Coles County Animal Shelter.
I've gotten strange bite reports on squirrels and horses and, stuff like that, but never a snake.
It's not clear why the snake bit the baby's foot, but Dieter says sometimes animals can be more irritable in the summer.
They're hot, they're just like us, humans, cranky, crabby.
William's family learned Friday the snake came from an adjacent apartment and the owner has been cited. The whole ordeal was enough for Winans to move out. He says he doesn't even want to think about if the snake wrapped around his son's neck or chest.
If the snake had wrapped around his neck, honestly, we probably would not be having his birthday today.
University of Illinois students won't easily forget the October 2011 armed robbery at this Espresso Royale on campus.
Plus, it was like in broad daylight.
And Detective Tim Hetrick won't forget the tool that helped police make an arrest.
We have literally solved crimes from petty theft to aggravated battery, armed robbery, with the use of the cameras.
He says some of the department's detectives have built their entire cases merely from footage like this when there was nothing else to go on. That's why Hetrick is hoping to place hundreds more security cameras around campus, eventually making the U of I a leader in campus security.
We've had a couple of campuses reach out and talk to us about how our program works and how we're doing things so they can model their own program after us.
Some students say placing even more cameras throughout campus won't necessarily make them feel more at ease.
If something bad's going to happen to me, it's going to happen. That's not going to stop it.
But Hetrick says it might.
When we put a camera in a problem area, it seems to curb a little bit of the crime in that area.
Student Hollis Johansson agrees if people know the cameras are there, they might think twice about doing something illegal.
Well, security cameras are in place and they are being used effectively, so that also deters people from stealing stuff.
Hetrick doesn't consider crime to be high at the University of Illinois, but that's not the reason he's pushing for more of these cameras.
If we have the technology to put out there to curb the crime, whether it's high crime or not, why wouldn't we use it?
To understand how a mound of dirt and few shovels turned into a state-of-the-art fitness facility, we have to start at the very beginning, when all of this was only a vision in Amy Armstrong's head.
What I hope to create here is a destination that will help families and individuals put their lives back together and enjoy life beyond the scope of the disability.
Especially her little girl.
I'll try to get through that without crying.
October 4th, 2005, Armstrong gave birth to Larkin, who was born with Down syndrome. As a new mother unfamiliar with caring for a child with special needs, Armstrong went home feeling unsure. She says if the new YMCA, also known as Larkin's Place, existed back then, things would have been different. Here's what she's hoping new parents of special needs children will now leave the hospital with.
Here's the brochure, but there's also a resource for you within the YMCA. We'll find somebody that can help you navigate this new world.
And here's what the new world entails. 9,000 square feet of fitness, 3 bodies of water, sensory rooms where people with special needs can explore and develop skills, and a resource library.
What really sets apart this facility from the rest is it has the first accessible slide in the country, maybe even the world.
An avenue that we are taking in this community to promote kind of like the marriage between abilities and disabilities. So what we're trying to do in this facility is really just kind of take the stigma out of having a disability.
Heidi Cortez is the Fund Development and Marketing Director for the YMCA. She says unlike other YMCA facilities, this one focused on an architectural plan that works for people of all abilities.
One example would be, while apple green and magenta are great colors and they invoke excitement and fun, those colors can provoke or overstimulate certain people with epilepsy and autism.
That's why as you walk through the YMCA, you will notice more neutral colors like eggshell white and tan. All this a bit overwhelming for Armstrong, who wasn't sure what to expect when she brought Larkin to the facility named after her for the first time.
I think that's going to be a moment that is probably going to have to be very sacred for us as a family.
Since that interview, Larkin has experienced the YMCA, and it's now Armstrong realizes.
And I realized in those moments of being with her that that wasn't the goal. The goal is to watch other people in the building.
And when she sees that, she says she knows it will be hard to fight the tears.
Know that they want a facility like this or need it, and I watch them being served. I'll probably have my complete emotional breakdown moments, but they're good ones.
In Champaign, Liz Lohuis, ABC News Channel 15.
Good morning and thanks for choosing ABC News Channel 15 Midday. I'm Liz Lohuis. Governor Pat Quinn is visiting a southern Illinois farm today to talk about how the state will deal with the severe drought. That is this morning's top story. This is the 6th driest year on record for Illinois. State climatologist Jim Angel says average rainfall totals for Champaign County in the month of July are normally around 4 inches. So far this month, we've only seen 0.2 in our area. Angel says in order to get out of this drought, we'll need well above normal precipitation for an entire month. He says about 6 inches in the month of August at least. The driest summer on record was in 1930 when Champaign County received only 0.47 inches of rain.
We're kind of on track for those kinds of numbers as we finish out the month here. So unless we get something big here, at some point we're going to be one of the drier Julys on record, I'm afraid.
Quinn is expected to detail today what government relief may be available. Taking a closer look now at how the lack of rain is tormenting crops across the country. The USDA is lowering its national corn forecast by 12% this week because of it. The cut translates to 20 bushels to the acre, and as ABC News Channel 15's Mike Brooks found out, the USDA is predicting low yields, but in reality, the situation could be much worse. Welcome back to ABC News Channel 15 Midday. I am joined now by Colleen Hatton from Dish. How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. I wish you all had smell-o-vision out there because we've got bacon cooking. I love bacon. What are you making today, Colleen?